Rabbit Hole Roundup, episode 89. Kevin James shows us how to really live. So guys, in today's edition of the Rabbit Hole Roundup, I'll be starting with a clip coming from Kevin James.
Excuse me for not knowing how to breathe underwater. I'm not a walrus, shuddy.
Living his best life while rapping and dancing at a Vanilla Ice concert. Now for those of you who don't know, Kevin James is like an incredible actor, comedian, and an overall super talented person. But at 60 years old, his positive energy in this video is absolutely amazing and contagious. And it's more proof that age is just a number and doesn't mean that life has to get worse as you get older. Then I have two Mel Robbins clips. One about how life will reward you as long as you don't quit. And I talk about my personal examples of how just staying in the game has helped me achieve a ton of success. And the other clip is why you don't have to explain everything to everyone. And you don't always have to explain yourself to everyone.
Why must I always be the focal point of attention? Let me just be. Let me live.
Your dreams, viewpoints, and beliefs don't have to be understood by everyone. They just have to be understood by you. So as a people pleaser myself, this is of course a valuable lesson that I'm not responsible for what everyone else thinks of me. Then I have a powerful clip coming from former NBA player Jeremy Lin, where he talks about like when he wasn't getting a lot of playing time, he found other ways to impact the game and other ways to impact his teammates in a positive way. And finally, I talk NFL Week 3 and what teams are for real and what teams are just like posers. And then I have MLB coverage as well, like as we inch closer to the playoffs. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive deeper now. Rabbit hole time, let's go.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys know it, must be not subscribe to the channel so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts in the video. Follow me on every platform, and if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through It by Jared Weiss. All links purchased on my website, which is jaredbryanweiss.com. That's JaredBryanWeiss.com. Buy the book, support me, and the support as always is very much appreciated. And make sure to check out all the awesome shirts in there as well. Every shirt is made of 100% organic cotton. Every shirt is like so motivational saying, so it's words in it. So any support at all is very much appreciated. Let's dive deeper in now. So the first clip I'm going to be sharing is coming from Kevin James living his best life at 60 years old. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play this with the sound because there is of course music in the clip. So this is at a Vanilla Ice concert. Kevin James is dancing, singing, rapping on stage, looking like he's having the time of his life. This is like incredible. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love seeing that. So Kevin James, actor and comedian, star of the show King of Queens.
Hey, check it out. A snow cone machine.
Has been performing at recent concerts with Jelly Roll and now at a concert with Vanilla Ice. And this just like puts a huge smile on my face. So although it may not look like it, this guy is 60 years old. Just more proof that as I'm constantly saying, age is just a number. It doesn't guarantee a decline. Who says that like you have to decline as you get older? Who says that life has to be less fun? Just look at how much energy he has. This can match with the energy of 20-year-olds, and beat them probably. I think that all of us, including myself, have this like inherent fear of aging and getting older, but a lot of that is because we see the average older person, as they age, get worse, not able to think, sitting in front of a TV, unable to move for themselves, eating fast food all the time, a total vegetable. Not actually eating vegetables.
Huh? You know what I mean?
But as I referenced in a recent video about Andy Nicholson, aka the over-the-hill dunker who's 53 years old and still dunking at 5'11", and I've also shared clips of Dick Van Dyke working out at 100 years old, there's evidence of people who get better over time. The number going up happens to all of us. How you choose to live though as that happens is your choice. Life doesn't have to get worse as you get older, as all these people are showing. You can still have fun, you can still dance, you can still be active. You can still achieve physical goals, mental goals, And as you get older, now you actually have more life experience, so this can make you even better. I'm only 29, and as Gary Vee always says, you're just a baby. But if this is what I have to look forward to, bring it on. Next, I have a clip coming from Mel Robbins where she talks about how life rewards you as long as you don't quit. Let's watch together.
If I just keep showing up, if I just keep doing the reps, if I just keep my head down and I just keep putting in the work day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, if I just keep showing up, life will eventually reward me. It is true. Every single person that you admire, everybody that has everything that you've ever wanted, whether it is the love story that you want, or it's the health that you want, or the body that you want, or the career that you want, or the success, or the music career, whatever it may be, I promise you, if you dig into their story, you will see they didn't quit. They just kept showing up. And in those moments when you want to quit, it is so easy to have a bad attitude or be in a bad mood because it hasn't happened on your timeline and then you quit. Do not do that. Do not do that. There is a reason to keep going, and the reason is the simple truth that if you just keep showing up, life will reward you. And that is how you program your brain to have stamina. That is how you program your brain to move through obstacles, because even if it hasn't happened, it just means it hasn't happened yet.
So well said. Love that. That's such an important message, and yes, it's so simple, but yet at the same time, it's not easy to do. Anyone can be motivated or excited at the start of their journey, but when you're putting that work in day after day, whether at an athletic goal, at your job, a health journey, and you're not seeing a ton of visible results, you start questioning, is it worth it?
Are we there yet?
We get there when we get there.
All those doubts start to creep in. Now, me being someone who never gives up on something I believe in, even I see those thoughts, but then I shut them up by putting my head back down, reminding myself why I'm doing what I am, where I started, and why I can't quit. It's like as Tim Grover says, and I'm going to be paraphrasing a bit, but when the ultimate success or the reward is worth the work, you can't quit. I actually have a video coming out soon on the Jared and James channel where I talk about this and how invested I am in some of these journeys, whether it's 15 plus years into my dunk journey, and that's been up and down largely because of my health challenges. It took me 10 years just to touch the rim, and a few more to get back there because all my health stuff was sapping my energy. And I know that one day soon enough I'm going to surpass all those numbers. But that's an amazing sign not to quit. 10 years, but I got to the rim. Life rewards you if you don't quit. Then my healing journey from a life-threatening illness. So the acute phase was almost 11 years ago. I thought it was going to be just a short healing process, yet here we are and I'm still not fully better yet. After having gone through so much trial and error, and then finally arriving at the knowledge I have now, with everything holistic health-wise, and becoming what I would consider to be an expert in this, and I've come such a long way from the worst of it. And even if I'm not there yet, one major improvement was that I went from not being able to digest any foods properly, to now being able to have really good digestion, and to be able to eat almost anything. And if we're talking about the difference between the very start and where I'm at now, it's night and day. I almost lost my life back in 2014. I was at the depths of life, and look at me now though, and all the amazing things I'm doing, more signs that life rewards you when you don't quit. Then my content creation journey has been a massive grind, along with writing my book, having my own clothing line, but I'm 5 years into making content, and yet I'm still not monetizing any of my channels.
How long is this going to take?
However, this year I hit 2,000 subs on YouTube on my main channel. I'm up to 500 plus on my other channel. And on both TikToks, I should be hitting 1,000 plus followers sometime within the next few days or the next month. Or maybe even I've already hit it by the time this video comes out. So it's all steps to success. It takes time, yes, and you do have to have patience, but life rewards you when you don't quit. Next up, I want to share a clip coming from Jeremy Lin about how when he wasn't getting playing time, he found ways to become a better teammate and to make an impact on the game still.
I was DNPing and I couldn't contribute anything on the court, and I said, how can I use my voice to be a benefit? That year, Norman Powell was struggling. At times, you hit 2 shots, you play a lot. You miss your first 2 shots, you're no longer playing. Or whatever. Kyle Lowry was trying to figure out how do I fit in next to Kawhi. And I just started using my voice. And so when I saw people struggling, I would at least just give them an encouragement. And then when I saw people sacrificing, I would let them know. I gotta tell Kyle, I know it's tough, but I see you sacrificing your shots to try to get everybody involved. I just wanna let you know I appreciate that. Or even telling certain guys, you gotta be more aggressive. When you're aggressive, that changes. And then even Pascal Siakam, who was playing so well, I just kept telling him, I'm like, like when you get to your mid-range or your floater, like our team has a whole different dimension. Just keep doing that. So whatever it is, you could be encouraging someone to keep doing the same thing. You could be encouraging someone who's struggling. Whatever it is, just using my voice. Every time I have DNPs, or every time I'm hurt for 2 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, when I come back, the game has slowed down for me because I've been watching and thinking so much.
Now, there's two really important aspects from what Jeremy's saying here that I want to address. So first off, I want to say that being a lifelong athlete and basketball player myself, and someone who has oftentimes struggled with confidence, sometimes all it took was having a teammate like this telling me to keep my head up. One of the best teammates who I ever played with, this guy Elijah, was unreal as a player. But he was also my favorite teammate because he always told me that the team needed me to keep shooting to win, and he would never let me get too down on myself. Now, I also had several other horrible teammates over the years, who it was like every time I took a shot, I'd see them shake their heads, or yell at me to pass them the ball, or who would just make for a super toxic, horrible environment to be around. And this doesn't just go for basketball, but just being a kind, supportive person to people, whether it's your coworkers, classmates, or if it's the people you see on a daily basis. You never know the value that your words can hold for them when they're having a rough day, so always keep that in mind. And the other important aspect of this is how sometimes you can't do the main thing for whatever reason. But this doesn't mean that you can't make an impact in other ways. So on a sports team, as Jeremy just said, maybe you're not getting a ton of playing time right now, and that's outside of your control. Well, are you still working on your game? Are you still keeping your mind and body sharp if that opportunity comes? Another example of this, in my case, I'm healing from a life-threatening illness, so not every workout is always going to be the best because my energy isn't always there. Well, maybe I can work on some smaller muscle groups. Maybe some days I just go in the sauna or do some extra mobility work.
It's like a sauna in here.
There's always other ways to impact the main thing, even when you're not doing the main thing. Remember that. Now finally, before this week's sports recap, I want to talk about another Mel Robbins clip where she says why you have to stop explaining yourself to everyone, because not everyone needs it nor deserves it from you, and you're only hurting yourself.
Stop trying to make everyone else understand your choices. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you're wrong, misguided, or strange. Let them think it's cringy, because you're not responsible for making people understand. I keep telling you, there's something in life that you will never be able to control, and that's other people. What they think, what they do, what they believe, whether or not they understand what's going on or they're questioning you. That means you cannot control what another person thinks about you, about what you're doing, about what you're wearing, about your career moves. You will never, ever, ever, ever be able to control that. The only person your decisions need to make sense to is you. See, the things that you feel called to do, the changes that you want to make, the goals that you have, the things on your bucket list, they're all for you. They're not supposed to make sense to other people. Oftentimes, what I've found is that when you make changes in your life, it's the people who are closest to you that don't understand why you're changing. So when your family or friends are questioning you and they don't understand you, they are questioning you from their point of view. They're loving you from their point of view. They're seeing your decision through their fears, their limits, their life experiences. And you're going to want your partner to understand. You're going to want your parents to understand. You're going to want everybody in your life to get on board and be excited about your new morning routine, or the fact that you want to become an influencer, that you're going to change your marriage, you're going to get divorced, or you're going to move to a different country. Or here's a big one. You choose not to have children. Every holiday, like clockwork, somebody has to ask. So, you think you're going to change your mind? As if I've decided not to have children is not a respectable answer? You can explain yourself until you're blue in the face, but no one will ever fully get you, and you can't control whether or not they ever do. So what does this mean? Whatever their assumptions and worries are about what you're doing, that's not your job to manage. Save your energy for living your life, not defending it.
So I've actually been reading Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, and it's really good and super powerful stuff. It can be so challenging as a people pleaser because I never want anyone to be upset with me. And maybe you can relate. I don't see this as a bad thing. It shows that you're a caring person. But it's as a lot of the premise behind the book is, how can you be at your best when you're allowing others' thoughts or opinions to control you?
That makes sense to me.
For instance, perfect example, every so often I'll have a post where someone leaves an unsettling comment, whether it's criticizing my viewpoint or making it about something totally unrelated, or whatever the case is. I know that I'm a good person. I know my intentions behind everything I do and behind every post I make. So I used to feel like I had to explain myself, and sometimes I am still guilty of this, but as I keep reminding myself, let them. If they're gonna judge me, let them. That's not up to me. I love making people happy. That's part of my purpose, I believe. But intentionally making people happy is different from trying to please everyone. Not everyone will understand my message. Not everyone will understand my dream, or my beliefs, or whatever it is. And so if I'm overly concerned with trying to explain myself to these people, I drain and take away from myself. It's not up to me to make sure that every person understands every post I make, or every action I take. The people who are meant to will receive it, but I have to do what's right for me and make myself happy, and in doing so everyone else around me gets the best version of me, not a watered down one. It can be super draining emotionally, trying to please everyone. So as Mel says, let them think what they want. Let them be upset with your choices. If those choices were right for you, then you don't have to explain them, because they aren't for them. Your dreams aren't theirs, and your life isn't theirs. It's yours. Now finally, we have this week's NFL and MLB coverage. Let's go now. Let's start with the biggest games from NFL Week 3. First up, the big upset from the week was unfortunately my Green Bay Packers going down to the Cleveland Browns. However, I will say that I do like the Browns because I always try to root for the underdogs. That Browns defense though is honestly generational. Myles Garrett and the rest of their D-line was rushing all of Jordan Love's throws, hitting him hard, and making it super difficult on him all game. I think the Browns' philosophy on offense is basically don't lose us the game and give our defense a chance to win it. As I've spoken about, I do like Joe Flacco. Not saying he's been playing great, but he also doesn't have a ton of help, whether it's 2 hurt offensive tackles, a running game that only starts in the fourth quarter of every game, receivers who don't get open or who drop the ball, and some poor play calling in my opinion. Having said that though, the final drive is the reason why you start Joe Flacco if you're trying to win. His experience helped him to execute that final drive to perfection, which of course set up the game-winning field goal by Andre Smythe, which I think is actually a really cool story. He lost his mom to brain cancer in July. He nearly got run out of town after the first game, and then he kicks a game winner against the top team. Next up, maybe this is a hot take, and yes, I'm just basing it off of one game, but I think Carson Wentz should still be a starter in the NFL. And if he manages to get the Vikings another win, or a solid start in the absence of JJ McCarthy, you have to wonder if there's a QB battle that's going to be brewing there. The Bengals looked flawless without Joe Burrow, and the Vikings defense was on fire all game as well. Are the Colts and Indiana Jones here to stay? Currently 3-0, and Jones is making deep throws to Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman, and looking unstoppable alongside a super strong run game from Jonathan Taylor, who had 3 rushing touchdowns of his own. Marcus Mariota had a good story this week, as he started for the Commanders in place of Jaden Daniels for his first start in 3 years, I believe, and he looked great as they got the win against the Raiders. Josh Allen is still looking like the best player in the NFL. He played great, as did James Cook, who might be a top 3 running back in the NFL right now, as that team knocked off the Dolphins, who did look better, but still have a ton of issues, as that team is now 0-3, and Mike McDaniel is currently on the hot seat. The Rams blew it in the second half against the Philadelphia Eagles, but I still do think the Rams are a dark horse Super Bowl contender. That offense was looking great, led by Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams, and they have a solid defense too, led by Jared Verse. The Rams did end up having a kick that was blocked, and returned for a touchdown, and Jalen Hurts played an incredible second half, as he threw for 3 passing touchdowns, and A.J. Brown came up with some big catches of his own. The Buccaneers almost blew it as well, as they had a kick that was blocked by the Jets, but Baker Mayfield managed to pull it off again. Mike Evans though went down with a hamstring injury, and he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, unfortunately. Michael Penix had a super rough game versus the Panthers, as he threw 2 pick sixes and that team got shut out. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers got the win against the Patriots. It wasn't exactly a pretty game, but the Steelers are now 2-1. Mac Jones put up another gritty performance for the 49ers against Arizona. However, Nick Bosa went down with a season-ending ACL injury. The Chiefs beat the Giants, and Patrick Mahomes may have found his new deep ball target in Tyquan Thornton. Mahomes has still been playing really well in spite of the Chiefs not looking like the champions just yet. On the bright side for the Giants, it looks like Cam Scatterby was looking like a really strong player, and I'm pretty sure, if I just heard recently, I'm pretty sure Jackson Dart's going to be starting next week, so we'll have to see how that goes. Justin Herbert didn't play as clean of a game as he had been, but he came up big when they needed it, and threw a late game touchdown pass to who other than Keenan Allen, as the Chargers beat the Broncos to move up to 3-0. Caleb Williams played a great game as he threw for 4 passing touchdowns against a really bad Dallas Cowboys defense. And also, what's going on with CJ Stroud? Ever since his incredible rookie season, he's fallen off as the Texans fall to 0-3, and Stroud threw 2 picks in that game. Ravens-Lions last night was a super close game. The Lions running back duo of Sonic and Knuckles, aka Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, finally went off for a combined 263 combined yards and 4 total touchdowns. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson's been incredible this year, but somehow that team falls to 1-2 as a result of having a super hard schedule, unfortunately. I do think that team's going to be just fine though in the end. Anyways, those were the biggest games and biggest storylines from Week 3 in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts down below. So now for this week's bonus NFL segment from Week 3 is what teams are for real and what teams are the posers at 3-0 right now. So first up you have the Buffalo Bills, and I would say this team is definitely for real. Every year that team gets closer and closer to a Super Bowl, and in spite of that secondary getting eaten up by Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in Week 1, as long as you have Josh Allen at quarterback, you're always going to have a chance. So in my opinion, that team is definitely going to be in the Super Bowl mix by the end of the season, and James Cook has come out really strong as well. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. This team might be the most well-run organization in all of football. Every year, this team just finds ways to win. Jalen Hurts usually plays his role great and doesn't throw a lot because he doesn't have to. This week was asked to throw a ton, and he came up huge in that second half. He threw for 3 passing touchdowns and had a rushing touchdown too. A.J. Brown finally got in on the action, and their defense also blocked the kick and ran it back for a touchdown to seal the deal in a tough game against the Rams. The San Francisco 49ers, I love what they're doing, but I don't see them being a contender at the end. Every game of theirs so far has been a one-score game, and they haven't really played any tough teams just yet. I love seeing Mac Jones win these games, as he's a super tough gritty player who the Patriots gave up on. But without Nick Bosa on that defense now that he's injured, that defense is going to have a massive drop-off. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ever since Baker became the starter with that team, all he does is win and throw touchdowns. Comeback win after comeback win, and that offense is looking super high-powered. I'm not sure that I put them in the Super Bowl mix, but their success is for real. And also now with Mike Evans set to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury, is Buka the rookie going to be able to pick up the load? Also, the Bucs defense has looked really solid this year too. Next up, we have the LA Chargers, who have looked great this year. Justin Herbert is playing at a super high level. Keenan Allen is back on that team. However, Najee Harris is done for the year. That defense has looked super special, led by Derwin James, and also one of their other top players is currently hurt in Khalil Mack. However, that division is going to get tougher. Could this finally be their year? I will say that it could be, so they're going to be in the middle for me. And finally, the Indianapolis Colts are looking incredible, and have maybe found their franchise QB in Daniel Jones. Indiana Jones has been throwing deep balls. He's running the ball great. Jonathan Taylor has been incredible. He's playing some of the best football in his career so far. That team also has a really solid O-line. And so as of right now, I can't say anything other than that team is looking for real. They've only punted once in 3 weeks. Jones has a 113 passer rating, with 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns, with 860 passing yards to go with that. Now finally for this week's MLB coverage. So first up, unfortunately my favorite pitcher from this year, Charlie Morton, just got DFA'd by the Tigers. I hope this isn't the end for him, although he was definitely having a super rough stretch for the Tigers, who are now in a fight just to make the playoffs. That team started off so good this year, and all of a sudden no one can pitch for them. The Mets are going to have to face off the Cubs to stave off elimination, and then after that they also have the Marlins, while the Reds on the other hand have the Pirates and then the Brewers to finish off the season. And even though I'm a Yankees fan, the Mets are my second favorite team, and also my brother loves them, so for his sake I want to see the Mets make the playoffs. With that roster, it doesn't make sense for them not to, honestly, but I guess that's just how it is with New York sports teams. They always find a way to disappoint you and let you down. My Yankees though have been looking great as we get closer to the playoffs. Aaron Judge has been on fire, and that lineup is finally looking formidable, with Judge, Stanton, Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Trent Grisham, and that rotation has been looking great with Rodon and Fried leading the way. So I have high expectations for that team. Mike Trout hit his 400th career home run this past week. He's probably the quietest superstar in baseball history. We also saw Cal Raleigh hit his league-leading 58th home run. Shohei Ohtani is up to 53, and Aaron Judge is up to 49 as of right now. Shohei also entered a class of his own by becoming the first player to have 50 home runs and have 50 strikeouts as a pitcher in the season. So unreal stuff. And also he might be asked to play the outfield for the team soon too. And finally, Clayton Kershaw, one of the best pitchers in this generation and possibly even all time, announced he's going to retire after the season. So shout out to him for an amazing career and for having one of the best curveballs ever. 3 Cy Youngs, 1 MVP, a World Series win, and a career 2.54 ERA. Sheesh, he was unstoppable. Anyways, that's your sports recap for the week. Let's get back to the end of the episode now. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed all the topics. If you did, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you guys next time. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding. Catch you next time. Peace.